morning, good morning. Got another Klingon, that guy right there, that Toyota. So they did it again. We're on Vale Pass, eastbound and down, and none of the digital boards said anything other than traction law for passenger vehicles. Usually they'll say all CMV must chain Vale Pass. That's what they say. All the way, I spent the night in Dotsero, the truck parking there, where you park when they close Glenwood Canyon, and had a nice night's sleep there. I got up this morning, made some coffee, Keurig is what I got, and started trucking down, came across 4 digital signs, nothing on the signs. Last night on my way to here, I only had like about 20 minutes left over after I hit Dotsero. Not a whole lot of places to park, so we just shut her down right there. I initially shut it down at mile marker 107, but I still had time left. I'm thinking, why am I was the only one there. Well, there was another truck there and a couple of cars. They did make it a nice area for parking, and for semis, they actually put lines on the highway or the area so you could park, because truck drivers are weird people. You could have, they just park all kinds of weird ways and end up making a spot that you could normally park 30 trucks only being able to park 15, because they're all twisted and jacked up, and that's just how they are. You could be by yourself in a lot that'll hold 150 trucks, and you go all the way to the back where you're all by yourself, and then you'll get awakened by a reefer with a APU, which sounds like a broken lawnmower, on Sunday morning after a night out on the town. See what I mean by this Klingon? He's just always right there. I think he heard me finally. Get the heck out of the way, buddy. It's in a 4x4. One of the best ones, Toyota. Anyway, so yeah, I stopped there initially, but then I got more time. I'm gonna truck on more, so I made Dotsero, spent the night. All night last night on the highway was all CMV must chain Vale Pass. Okay, got it. And when I didn't quite make it because I didn't have the time, so this morning I figured, and I thought about it last night, I'm like, it's now, but unless it keeps snowing, tomorrow morning will be mid-morning, they'll take it off. And so because I know this mountain, I'm on it all the time. I'm amazed that some people won't purposely divert this area because of this mountain right here. They stay off I-70. We don't route you on 70 during the winter through Colorado. And I go, okay, thank you. Less trucks, right? So anyway, my theory proved correct this morning, and it's kind of late morning. It's 11 o'clock. We've been rolling for about 40 minutes maybe, and I drove till midnight last night. The theory proved correct that, as you can see, it broke down and it's open, but at the bottom they have the lights flashing. Chain up, everybody's chaining up. Why? They did it again. Tell me the reason why. I'm actually going to turn off my I have my axle interlock just in case you need it. We're light, It says 5,000 pound load. Might be about 7 or 8. But if you need the traction, I was already set up to take it. Yeah, they got the lights on. Everybody's chaining up down below. Just wear out your chains. They need to be on top of this. I was willing to take a chance on it because I have snow tires and experience, but there's another chain station up on top a little bit from the Vale area. And so I was just going to say I'm going up to the second chain up area if I would have got pulled over or whatever. But as I got there, I'm looking at the road. I'm like, you know what? This is insane. And it's one I would take to court with this video footage. They want us to eat up our chains because that's what happens on asphalt without snow. And so that when you actually do need your chains for snowpack, you don't have any because you ate them up on this. Tell me, this is like California stuff. Why do you need to chain up? Why is that light still on? I have always done the internet and the digital boards versus the side road signs, even though it says illegal to proceed without required equipment. Well, I have snow tires on. Plus being Colorado resident with all the experience of mountain roads on and off in big rigs. Irregardless, I would still probably get nailed. But I'm like, this is like the insanity of that we're getting with the vid. Breaker 19. Making you chain up on this. We're cruising at 64, speed limit 65. The temperature, that's a good one. Let's throw that out there right now. It is a balmy 0. Wait, no, it's wrong. Well, maybe 08.0. It is 8 degrees outside. Negative Celsius for the metric system. Now we're at 7. This is about usually the coldest spot for Vale is up on top. Let's see if we can get down to 6. Yeah, it's kind of, I find it, well, I don't find it odd. For me, this is just part of driving in Colorado. You just deal with this stuff, I was just amazed at how many trucks or drivers are afraid to come up here, or they don't want to deal with chaining up. And I guess I can understand it, but the storm, if we went through here yesterday, we would be chained up because the laws were in effect, and I'm sure it was all white. Not right, white. Anyway, then it makes sense. Then yeah, there's snow on the ground, it's packed, you should put chains on. Okay. Do we need chains now? Obviously not. This is, like I said, this is California stuff. This is California politics coming into the roadways of Colorado. Leaving the signs up whilst there's no need for it. You know, it's like having a lifeguard at an empty pool that's drained for the winter. What's the purpose of that? There is none. It's just the insanity of California, if you ask me. That's their way of doing things. And it's sad to see it infiltrated here. Back when I started driving in '96, we didn't. I started in December of '96. So being in Colorado, so guess what? Right off the bat, I got thrown into the mountains, and that's what I'm saying. It was probably right about here. It was snowing. Didn't have chains on. Wasn't required back in them days. Didn't have snow tires. Wasn't heavy. And I'm cruising along here about probably 35 mile an hour. Right now we're at 63. Back up to a balmy 8 degrees. I was doing what I knew at the time. I was a rookie driver, never driven a semi-truck in the snow. So I'm coming down the mountain. That's a good song by, maybe it's not Down the Mountain, but let's see if I can remember. Jane's Addiction, coming down the mountain. Anyway, it might be The Ocean. I don't remember what song it is. The actual name of it. I know the song. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. I was a rookie driver. I'm coming down at 35, 40 miles an hour, maybe 30. You know, white knuckling it, and this black Peterbilt, right past me on the left side. Probably doing 50 or 60. And I didn't sit there and go, man, that guy, he's going to wreck, he's going to do this, and he's going to do that, and blah, 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 blah. My thought that first went through my head was, wow. Wow, dude. What do you know that I don't know? How are you able to do that? Why are you doing that? What? I was at a loss for words. I wanted some answers. I had questions I wanted answers to. They eventually got answered by me. And the way I did that was through experience. And a lot of it. When you live up in the mountains, you wake up every morning to this. You drive to work. When you get to work, I drove. We went up into the hills. I call it the hills. Yeah, it's the mountains. We're already at, 8,000 foot, and we go up into the hills. I had my share of close calls. But, some people ask me, have I ever gone off of the highway because of the way I drive? Have I ever lost control of a rig? No, I have not. Well, I can't say it. I have lost control of a rig. But I took it back. I got back control of it. And there's only one time I went off the road, got stuck in a ditch, and I was backing up, which I should not have been doing. It was windy, blizzardy conditions. I got too close. I was staying to the inside of the mountain, got too close. Realized I was too close when I could see again. And said, oh shoot, I'm too close to the mountain. I stopped. Boom, slid right into the ditch. Need to get towed out. That was the only time. And, I going down Wolf Creek Pass. 20 miles an hour, downshifted, and went into jackknife mode right off the bat. Turned off the Jake, accelerated, took it back from the jackknife, slowly brought it back down again, and continued on down the mountain safely. And so yeah, I mean, you do that through experience. And I answered my questions. How was he able to do that? Why was he able to do that? He knew a lot more than I knew. You know, I don't remember the temperature at that time. It was snowing. There is a thing of being too cold to snow. And so it wasn't that cold. But, you know, he knew the highway. He'd probably done it, numerous times. And knew his truck and knew what tires he had. Had the experience of being on the snow. You know, there's so many factors. So when some people see my videos and they're like, oh my God, you're insane. Like, you're correct. I am a bit twisted. But I do know what I'm doing with it. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, this is Officers Gulch area. Eastbound, you got to be careful because it comes a point to where, boom, the truck will get away from you. Because you're going downhill, but you don't really realize it. And when you're heavy, you can go from 65 to 75 in a heartbeat. Let's see what Eisenhower looks like. Okay, looks like Eisenhower Hill is a piece of cake. APOC. Got a bit worried. Saw the digital signs before I got to Silverthorne. Granby's sister city, sister town, to do it correctly. Trying to avoid the ruts. It said all CMV chains required. I read that and I went into shock. I'm like, man, it's not because I had to chain up. It's because I don't want to chain up. I will if I have to. I have no issues at all doing it, but I don't want to. I don't need to. That's what the part that bothers me anyway, because we're light, so we would just keep pedal to the metal, fly right up, just enough for traction, light enough so we're not like pulling a boat anchor. Anyway, we have 9 degrees right now. The road looks icy, maybe. We have now what we didn't have then, and that's mag chloride. Then, meaning back when I started driving. Hey, quality, who is you? I think that was at 492. We still have 418. They're almost in the 6s. Anyway. Yeah, the road's wet because of mag chloride. Looks like ice, but it's not. Anyway, and it said, all CMV must chain up. Loveland Pass. Oh, it took a second to register. That's Loveland Pass. We're not going Loveland Pass. Well, sitting there waiting for those guys speeding down the hill. An officer there to the left. It's about time I see him there. That guy's coming down pretty good too. Is that a McDonald's truck? Yep, Mile High. I always see these guys flying down the hill. Speed limit's 35 for CMV. This clown got in front of me. Tear my windows apart. I'm already low on washer fluid. I go to fill it up to check my blinker fluid. Yeah, 35 mile per hour for CMV going down this hill. It's like 9 miles long, 7% grade. This is the first officer I've seen, and I'm thinking that all the other state troopers are in their headquarters writing reports from yesterday. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, Toyota, I'm coming over. You have another lane. Use it. Oh, jeez. I don't know how I missed that. Took this guy long enough to get around me. See, they go by another truck and they slow down. Like, why? I don't know what that is. Subconscious thingy? I don't know. He wasn't even by that truck on the right of us. It was a whole lane away, and it still slowed him down. Dunno. Just dunno. There's a few times I've gotten up here and I've made it all the way up here, and this is the nastiest part, because if it's snowing anywhere, it's going to be right here for sure versus down lower. And like, we're trying to get through, and I'm starting to spin a bit, but there's a guy in front of me in a pickup truck going slow because he's scared. I'm like, man, get out of my way, get out of my way. I got to keep this thing going. I got to keep it going. And man, it's just stressful. And because he's scared, now he slows me down. Now I start to spin out. That's before the chain laws were up. They went up not too long after I passed through. Elevation 11,158 feet. 58. So I sort of messed up a bit. My camera tripod mount, I even checked it before I started filming today, was mega loose. And like, I just swung it back and forth and it didn't move. And then once I got done filming, I noticed the thing was flopping around like a whale, like a fish out of water. That's my low washer fluid. I don't get a low blinker fluid, but I do get a low washer fluid warning. Yeah, so I had to tighten it up. There's a screw on the bottom, 1/4 that you tighten up. That way, when it's in the mount, it's nice and tight, and then when I put my hand on the tripod, it's even better, sturdier. Two weather systems on each side of the divide, usually. Icy road, but basically that's just code for slow down, because the road, look at the water, the mist coming up from that Honda right there in front of us. It's not ice. What day is it today? I'm wondering why they have all that traffic right there. Maybe it's fresh fallen snow, skier traffic. I don't know. I think it's like Wednesday today. This could be a little sketch. Oh, we got 6 degrees at the tunnel. And some of these roads are just freaking canyons, big potholes. I think it's just the morning skier traffic. I think a lot of people said, hey, because I think it's still probably snowing in Denver. It snowed pretty good. We're not working. Let's go skiing. I saw that truck bounce. So let's go. And we split that. There's 2 big old holes right there. We split it. So you have to read the road. And that's why sometimes when I hit one, I'm like, how did I do that? Apparently I wasn't reading the road. When I drive the V, I really have to read the road because she's so low to the ground that and plus all the components are not made for that. It's made for high-speed track use. And a quality driver. Anyway, yeah, you don't want to hit big old potholes like that in the V doing 60, 70 miles an hour. Of course, if we were in the V right now, I don't know if we'd be going that fast. Washer fluid warning. U.S. Foods, I'm sure he's a local delivery driver. In other words, comes out of Denver, drives up the mountains, probably on a daily basis to deliver food to restaurants and stores and stuff like that. And that's what I mean by local delivery driver. Use one position Jake. It's a little, we're light, so we have to be really careful using the Jake. Washer fluid low. That thing is like irritating AF. I mean, it's constant low fluid warning. It's like, I know. We're at balmy 4 degrees. You can tell he's a regular winter mountain driver because of what he's doing. Same thing we're doing. These guys taking their chains off. One of them was. I don't like being behind trucks like that because I can't see up ahead what's going on. We'll be able to get around them shortly. Yeah, if I was to use position 3 on the Jake, as soon as I let up off the throttle, we're actually using breakage right now, a really light pressure on the brake. Here's my warning again. Warning for washer fluid. As soon as I let up off the throttle or brake, Jake would kick in, and 3 beans that were light would be too much. If it kicked in on us and we started to maneuver one way or the other, as in jackknife, instantly throttle up. I should have looked forward ahead enough to realize that truck was there. So for those that don't know, position 1, it's a 6-cylinder engine. Position 1 is 2-cylinder retardation. Position 2 is 4-cylinder retardation. Position 3 is 6-cylinder retardation, retarding the engine, using it as brake. And that's what happens. This is ice we're on right now. What happens then is you have too much pressure. When you're light, it locks up the wheels. And that will cause you to jackknife. Like right away. So not only does it beep at you every minute, it also puts a display up across the whole screen. It's like, why doesn't it just do that instead of beeping at you each time? Every time you go look at the screen, you'd see it. Temperature is nice out. We have a lot of grip at 4 degrees versus being 29. But still slick. Still can have issues. So right now we're in 12th gear with 1-position jig. RPM is like 1100. That car putting its brakes on. So we really have hardly anything on the retardation. The higher RPM, the more retardation you'll feel per position. Low RPM position 1 will hardly be anything. High RPM position 1, you'll notice the difference, absolutely. Truck service is 10 miles. It's over by the scales there, Dumont. This is Georgetown Hill. Cool down. Hot brakes, keep cool, stay on I-70. Cool down at chain station past mile marker 228. Exit. This hill gets a lot of trucks on fire. Usually about 3 a year you can figure. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but average is about 3 trucks a year this hill eats up. What happens is you come out of the tunnel, as you see we've done, there's a lot of areas that you use brakes, so that by the time you get here, your brakes are pretty well warm if you don't know what you're doing. So then when you hit Georgetown Hill, you get to the bottom, and that's where the fire introduces itself to you for being unknowledgeable in the trucking industry with hills. So speed limit is 45. So we're light. We're at 56 at the moment. We'll bring her down, clown. That's the Silver Plume Railway. Georgetown Loop Railroad, it's called. That was full 3-position Jake. at 10th gear, 1400 RPMs. We're at 45 now. Now we're at 12.5 RPMs, 13,000. 12.5. There's our friend. 43. I'm going to kick it to position 2. Lighten it up. Still at 43. Look, Ma, no brakes. Now we're at 44. Seems to be holding really good at 44. Second position Jake, 10th gear at 12.5 RPMs. This is where people get it the most. They come around this corner and go, oh my Lord, look at that. 8% grade for another mile. Fire, fire. Now we're just kicked 45 at 13,000. I could easily have gone down here without setting my system, and setting the system is setting your gear and your Jake for your weight to make the speed. It's a formula, if you will, formulated by trial and error, but you better do it before you start out. Really easy to go up, super hard to go down as far as speed wise. We're at 46, still at 13. Should kick back down to 45. There it goes right there. And then right in this area here is where the fire will be. Sometimes right here, right after the exit 28, but a lot of times it's down there on the flats. Some of them have even gone another mile from here before they caught fire. Might see a few ice fishermen. Then you're supposed to do 45 up until where that car is sitting. There'll be a sign that says end lane restriction and reduce speed limit right there. Now we can kick it up. So people don't realize we're going slow because we have to. I'm going to go right back to my speed limit. Oh, Biden-Harris, there you go. Hope you enjoy your gas prices. I wonder what happened to him. Okay, well, that's pretty much the hills. We have a few more. We got the long one going into Denver. If it's worth filming, I'll film it. But we'll just call this video good for now. Thanks again for riding shotgun with Mountain Man Mike and the low washer fluid warning. Till the next time, enjoy. Peace. It's a balmy 9 degrees. See ya.